People like to say you can feel when something in your life starts to crack. They're right. You don't always hear it or see it. Sometimes you just feel it. A shift in the air, a quiet difference in the way someone says your name. For a long time, I thought Lena and I were perfect. We'd been together 4 years, engaged for 6 months, and in just a few weeks, we were supposed to say, "I do." I'd already memorized her smile and that white dress from the fitting, how she spun around and said, "Can you believe it's really happening?" We had everything planned, down to the smallest detail, the venue by the lake, the playlist we made together, the gold-trimmed invitations she obsessed over for weeks. Friends called us the stable couple. My mother said Lena was the best thing that ever happened to me. I believed them. I believed all of it. Then, little things started to change. At first, it was small. Her phone, once abandoned on counters and couches, now followed her everywhere, face down, notifications off. She started smiling at messages I couldn't see. When I'd ask who it was, she'd laugh lightly, "Just wedding stuff, babe." I told myself not to overthink. Everyone gets stressed before a wedding. I didn't want to be that guy, paranoid, insecure, needy. So I ignored it. But the distance grew. Our nightly movie routine turned into her scrolling in bed while I watched alone. She started staying late at her bridal fittings. Sometimes she came home smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. Still, I kept convincing myself there was an explanation. Always an explanation. One night proved me wrong. It was a Thursday. I was working late when my phone buzzed. A call from Lena. I answered, but all I heard was muffled voices and laughter. Then the line went dead. I called back, no answer. A text came a minute later. "Sorry, bad signal. Talk later." Bad signal. In the middle of the city. That night she came home hours later than she said she would. Hair damp from rain, makeup slightly smudged. She kissed me quickly, said she was exhausted, and went straight to shower. I stood in the hallway staring at her purse on the table. Something inside me whispered to look, but I didn't. Not yet. Instead, I told myself it was just nerves, wedding stress, cold feet, anything but what it looked like. The next few days, the feeling got worse. Every time she smiled at me, it felt rehearsed. Every "I love you" landed softer. A week later, I couldn't take it anymore. It was late, nearly midnight, and Lena had fallen asleep on the couch beside me. Her phone buzzed once, lighting up with a message preview I wasn't supposed to see. It was from a contact saved under a fake name, Grace, Planner. But the message said, "Can't wait to see you again. Tonight was perfect." My chest tightened. I stared at the screen, hoping I'd misread it. Then another message appeared. "He has no idea, right?" Lena's phone buzzed again before I could react, and the preview vanished. I sat there frozen. The TV murmured in the background, but all I could hear was the pounding in my ears. I didn't open the phone. I didn't throw it, or wake her, or demand answers. I just stared at it until the screen went dark again, like nothing had happened. But something had happened. In 1 minute, the image of the life I thought I had cracked straight down the middle. And through that crack, I saw something I could never unsee. Someone else. Someone she knew. Someone I knew. I stood up quietly, staring at her sleeping on the couch, phone glowing faintly beside her. My mind raced through every person in our lives, every friend, every guest who'd be at the wedding. My stomach turned. I didn't know the full truth yet, but I would. Not tonight, not with anger. I'd find out calmly, quietly, the way a surgeon handles a knife. For now, I just picked up her phone, turned off the sound, and placed it face down again. Then I walked to our bedroom and sat in the dark, watching the shadows stretch across the wall. Something inside me hardened. I wasn't gonna ruin this wedding. No, I was going to let it happen exactly as planned. Because whatever Lena was hiding, whoever she was hiding it with, I needed to see how deep it went before I decided what came next. Sleep never came easily after that night. Lena slept soundly beside me, her breathing slow, even, as if the universe hadn't shifted. I'd lie awake, listening to the rhythm of her breaths, waiting for my heart to match them, but it never did. Days passed in a strange haze. I went to work, smiled at coworkers, answered calls from the florist, laughed when Lena sent pictures of table settings. On the surface, nothing had changed. Underneath, everything had. I told myself I wouldn't look through her phone again, but when someone betrays you, their silence starts to feel louder than words. So one night, when she drifted off mid-movie, the glow of the screen pulsing across her face, I gave in. Her phone unlocked with the same 4 digits she'd always used, my birthday. That almost made me laugh. I scrolled past messages from friends, family, vendors, all the noise she used to hide the signal. Then I found the thread. Not Grace, not Planner. This one was under E. At first it was harmless. E. How's the seating chart? Lena. Driving me crazy. But then, E. Can't wait to watch... Sorry. Can't wait to see you again. Tonight was perfect. My fingers froze over the glass. I scrolled faster. Pictures, a hotel room, her dress on the floor, his hand, the silver watch I gave him for his promotion. Evan. My best friend. My closest friend. The man who toasted our engagement with "to loyalty, love, and forever." The room felt smaller, the air heavier. But no rage came, just stillness. I kept reading. Lena, we need to be careful. He's been acting weird. Evan, don't worry. After the wedding, it won't matter. After the wedding. I put the phone down carefully, like it was made of glass. She stirred, but didn't wake. In the quiet, I realized something important. This wasn't about love anymore. It wasn't even about betrayal. It was about control. If I confronted them now, they'd cry, apologize, twist it into a misunderstanding. They'd win the moment through emotion. But if I stayed calm, if I waited, I could take back the power they thought they'd stolen. So, I started collecting. The next morning, while Lena showered, I forwarded the messages to myself, one by one. Screenshots, photos, call logs, I backed them up on a hidden drive labeled Invoices. At work, I checked the timestamps against Evan's schedule. Every late client dinner matched her bridal errands. They were meticulous, but I was patient. Over the next week, I recorded everything. Phone calls, overheard whispers, the small tremor in her voice when she said she loved me. I even started rehearsing how I'd look on the wedding day. Calm, devoted, clueless. Lena thought I'd gone back to normal. She laughed more, texted less when I was around. Evan joked about the bachelor party, slapped my shoulder, called me bro. I smiled back, always smiling. They thought they were being careful. They had no idea I was already miles ahead. One night, Lena fell asleep with her phone in her hand again. This time, I didn't need to look. I already knew the truth. But habit pulled me in anyway. The last message she sent made me pause. Lena, I think he suspects something. And his reply seconds later, Evan, then we need to play it cool. He'll never see it coming. I set the phone down, stood up slowly, and walked to the window. The city glowed below, alive and unaware. I watched my reflection in the glass, calm, sharp, a man I barely recognized. And in that reflection, I found my answer. If they wanted to play games, I'd let them, all the way to the altar. I leaned close to the glass, whispering to no one but myself. You want to play games? Let's make it memorable. I woke up before sunrise, on my wedding day. The world outside was still, a pale blue quiet before the morning broke. I sat there, staring at the ring on the nightstand, feeling the weight of everything I knew and everything I hadn't said. Lena was sleeping beside me, her breathing soft, even, as if the universe hadn't shifted. I brushed her hair from her face, whispered, "Big day." She smiled sleepily. I can't believe it's finally here. Neither can I. The morning moved like a dream. I was pretending to enjoy. My friends, our friends, came in laughing, cracking jokes, snapping photos. Evan was there too, of course. Best man, perfect suit, pretending to care. "Ready for it?" he asked, clapping me on the shoulder. "More than ever," I said, keeping my voice steady. He grinned. "You're a lucky guy, man." I looked him dead in the eye. "Yeah, I really am." He didn't flinch. That almost made me respect him. Almost. The rest of the morning I played my role perfectly. Smiles for the photographer, a toast with the groomsmen, texts with Lena about how excited I was. No one suspected a thing. When I slipped away to check with the videographer, he greeted me with confusion. "You sure about these last-minute changes?" he asked. "Absolutely," I said. "Just make sure the timing's right." He nodded slowly. "You got it." I left him with a USB drive. On it were all the photos and clips for our wedding slideshow, except one folder wasn't meant for celebration. It was for truth. The venue was breathtaking. High ceilings, white roses, soft gold light streaming through tall windows. Everything looked perfect. Fitting, considering how fake everything really was. Lena arrived a bit later, glowing in her gown. Everyone gasped when they saw her. Even I had to admit, she looked like something out of a dream, the kind of dream that turns to a nightmare halfway through. When she saw me, she smiled with that nervous sweetness she'd mastered over the years. "You look wow," she said, eyes glimmering. "So do you," I replied, matching her tone perfectly. For a second, I saw something flicker in her eyes. Maybe guilt, maybe fear, or maybe just the reflection of what she'd lost, a man who would have done anything for her. As the day went on, people kept telling us how perfect we looked together. "The kind of couple everyone dreams of," one aunt said. Lena squeezed my hand. "See, we made it." I smiled back. Yeah, we did. But her hand was trembling. She tried to play it off, laughing, asking if I was nervous. "Not at all," I said. "Everything is exactly how I planned it." Her smile faltered just for a second. That tiny moment, that hesitation, told me she could feel it. Something was coming. When the ceremony music started, I slipped away to the back room to fix my tie. The mirror in front of me caught everything. The sharp suit, the steady hands, the calm in my face that didn't match the chaos I felt underneath. For months, I had built my life around this woman. And in one night, she'd traded it all for a few hidden messages and stolen kisses. But now, I wasn't broken. I was focused. I adjusted my tie, looked myself in the eyes, and whispered, "You shouldn't have underestimated me." The reception was beautiful. Soft music, laughter, the clinking of champagne glasses. Everything looked exactly like the wedding we'd always imagined. Only this time, I wasn't imagining forever. I was watching an ending. Lena moved through the crowd like the perfect bride, glowing, laughing, hugging everyone. Her dress shimmered under the golden lights, and every time she glanced at me, I smiled right back, perfectly rehearsed. "Are you okay?" she asked once, brushing my sleeve. "I'm just taking it all in," I smiled faintly. She nodded, satisfied. Evan was nearby, toasting with the groomsmen, pretending he didn't know I knew. He looked confident, too confident. That made it better. When it came time for speeches, I stood, tapping my glass gently. The room quieted instantly. "First of all, thank you all for being here tonight. It means the world to us." Everyone smiled, Lena most of all. She reached for my hand, but I pulled it away, naturally, pretending to grab the microphone instead. "I won't keep you long, but before we get to the video, the little slideshow we prepared, I just want to say a few words about love." I looked around, meeting eyes one by one. "Love," I continued, "isn't just about promises or rings. It's about honesty, trust, loyalty." A few people clapped softly. I smiled, not at them, but at the thought of what came next. "Now, why don't we see what memories we've built together?" The lights dimmed. The music faded. The projector screen lit up behind us, showing the first image, the two of us at the beach, laughing, happy. Another, our engagement party, champagne in hand. Lena relaxed beside me, smiling at the crowd. Until the third image appeared. It wasn't a photo of us. It was a screenshot. Her phone's chat interface. A message from Evan. "Can't wait to see you tonight. He's still at work, right?" The room went silent. Then another image appeared. Her reply. "Yeah, I'll leave the back door unlocked." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Lena froze. Her hand flew to her mouth. "Daniel, what?" she stammered. I didn't look at her. I just kept my eyes on the screen. More screenshots appeared, each worse than the last. Texts, photos, voice notes. Her laughter recorded in one clip, Evan's voice sang her name. The evidence I'd gathered played for everyone to see. Someone dropped their glass. A murmur filled the room. Confusion, shock, whispers turning into chaos. Evan stood from his table, his face pale. "Turn that off," he shouted, but the videographer didn't move. I had told him not to. Lena turned toward me, eyes wide and wet. "Daniel, please, this isn't—" But I finally looked at her, calm, detached. "You don't need to explain," I said softly. "They've already heard enough." She shook her head, trembling. "Why would you do this?" I took a slow breath, lifting the microphone again. "Because," I said evenly, "I didn't want to cancel the wedding without giving everyone what they came for, the truth." Silence. I thought about walking away quietly, pretending. But I realized that's what you did, pretending. I glanced at the audience, family, friends, colleagues, all frozen in disbelief. So instead of canceling today, I decided to keep my promise, to show everyone who we really are. Evan tried to step forward, but two of my friends blocked him. "Stay where you are," I said calmly. "You've done enough." Lena started crying, mascara streaking down her face, hands trembling. "Daniel, please, stop this. We can talk." I set the microphone down gently, straightened my suit jacket, and looked at her one last time. "You already said enough in your messages." Then I turned and walked off the stage. Behind me, the screen still glowed. The last text frozen there. Her name beside Evan's, time-stamped just days ago. The sound of whispers chased me to the door, blending with the faint hum of the projector and the muffled sobs of a bride whose perfect day had shattered. Outside, the night air hit me like a quiet wave. For the first time in months, I felt free. From inside, I could still hear chaos, chairs scratching, people shouting, someone calling my name. But I didn't stop. I just kept walking. As I reached the car, I smiled faintly at the reflection in the window. The night wasn't over. There was still one more thing left to do. The days after the wedding felt quieter than I expected. No more calls, no more texts, no apologies that mattered. Just silence. The story spread fast, faster than I ever imagined. Guests who'd been there told others, others shared the videos, but screenshots made their way through every group chat that had our names in it. I didn't need to say a word. The truth did all the talking for me. Lena's family called once, not to defend her, but to apologize. Her mother's voice shook on the phone. "Daniel, I don't know what to say. I thought she was better than that." I told her it wasn't her fault. Then I hung up and deleted her number. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. Evan tried reaching out next. 6 missed calls, 2 voicemails, 1 text that said, "Can we talk?" He didn't realize he'd already said everything that mattered in those messages on her phone. Word got around that his fiancée called off their engagement. Then his company suspended him after someone forwarded the wedding video to HR. Apparently, moral reputation mattered there. The irony almost made me laugh. As for Lena, she disappeared from social media. Her once perfect profile, all those filtered smiles, matching outfits, forever captions, gone overnight. Friends said she moved back to her parents' place for a while, that she wasn't handling things well. I didn't ask for updates. I didn't need them. For the first time in a long time, my peace didn't depend on her pain. I spent the following weeks in silence, cleaning up, packing away old things, getting used to being alone again. The apartment felt different now, lighter somehow. One evening, I found myself sitting by the same window where this all began, the night I'd read those messages. The city outside was calm, streetlights flickering against the glass. My phone buzzed once. Unknown number. I ignored it. I opened my photo gallery instead. There she was, Lena laughing in the sunlight, hand on my chest, that look in her eyes that used to mean everything. I stared at it for a long time, not in anger, not in sadness, just stillness. Then I pressed delete. The screen went dark, and for the first time since all this started, I actually felt free. They say revenge is about destroying someone, but that's not true. Sometimes it's about letting people destroy themselves, giving them enough space, enough time, enough rope. All I did was show the truth. They did the rest. I looked around the room one last time, the half-packed boxes, the faint echo of an apartment that used to hold laughter. Then I smiled. Because this wasn't a sad ending. It was just an ending. As I stood by the window, the city lights blinking in quiet rhythm, I thought about everything that had happened, every lie, every betrayal, every fake smile I endured. And for the first time, I didn't feel bitterness, just understanding. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone, it's letting them destroy themselves in front of everyone.
And if you watched up to this point, thank you. It means a lot. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. See you on the next one.